Imagine the Apostle Paul walking through the center of Athenian intellectual life. He is a solitary figure walking past massive marble monuments dedicated to a civilization's confident pagan philosophies. Paul makes a precise psychological observation. The truth of the Creator is readily available, but humanity actively suppresses it. Blindness is a chosen condition of the will. Romans chapter 1 states that God's invisible qualities are clearly seen in what has been made. We see this plainly when observing the staggering scale and mathematical order of the Milky Way. Modernity has replaced the ancient statues with a materialist void. Today's atheist claims the high ground of logic and science, viewing these as tools that have finally rendered a creator unnecessary. This claim faces the problem of the absolute negative. If the circle represents everything there is to know in the universe, our discovered knowledge occupies only this microscopic sliver. To declare there is no God with certainty requires knowing exactly what exists in the remaining 99% of the circle. That level of certainty requires the very omniscience atheism denies. Atheism lacks the philosophical depth to support the very science it relies on. Only the biblical worldview explains why a rationally ordered reality exists in the first place. Philosophical naturalism insists that the universe consists only of matter and the blind forces that move it. This creates a contradiction. Naturalists trust their minds to discover objective truth, yet they assume a universe that is a product of accidental, non-rational collisions. The expectation of a rationally ordered universe and the belief in trustworthy cognitive faculties are pillars of theistic thought. The atheist is forced to borrow the concepts of order and logic from the Christian worldview just to construct an argument against it. We must address the ultimate question of origins. How did space, time, and matter begin? The first premise of the Kalam argument is that whatever begins to exist has a cause. This is a foundational principle of logic and science. The second premise is supported by the standard Big Bang model. Astrophysics confirms the universe had an absolute beginning roughly 14 billion years ago. To avoid this beginning, some propose an infinite regress of past events, but you can't cross an infinite distance to reach the present day. These looping gears illustrate the logical collapse that occurs when we deny a starting point. The scientific data points toward the biblical doctrine of creatio ex nihilo, creation out of nothing. Creation appeared as a perfectly structured deployment of light and matter, expanding in absolute silence from a single point into the majestic cosmic web. Genesis 1 and Hebrews 11 describe this. The universe was formed at God's command, not made out of things that are visible. Since space, time, and matter had a beginning, the cause must be spaceless, timeless, immaterial, and immensely powerful. This matches the exact definition of God. Beyond its origin, the universe is governed by physical constants calibrated to a precision that makes life possible. The gravitational constant sits in a microscopic green zone. Minor changes mean stars burn out or never form. The strong nuclear force style is even more restricted, where tiny alterations make complex biology impossible. The materialist counterargument relies on the idea that we simply won a massive cosmic lottery. The mathematical odds against dozens of independent constants, all landing in their life-sustaining zones simultaneously, are effectively zero. Psalm 19 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God." Hebrews 3 notes the obvious, every house is built by someone. A machine this finely tuned requires an architect. The universe is a designed habitat. This evidence shifts the focus from the stars to the human mind itself. Alvin Plantinga developed the evolutionary argument against naturalism to challenge the atheists' trust in their own reasoning. If our brains are products of a blind process optimized only for survival and reproductive fitness, they have no orientation toward objective truth. Natural selection favors behavior that keeps you alive. It doesn't matter if the triggering belief is true or false, so long as you survive. If our brains are accidental survival engines, there is no logical reason to trust them when they claim there is no God. Atheism is self-defeating. It relies on a mind it claims is an unreliable accident to declare absolute certainty about the nature of existence. We see a similar collapse in moral ontology, the study of why good and evil exist. Consider these two wardrobes in a thought experiment by Neil Shenvi. They appear identical, but their contents change the moral landscape. One contains a human being. The other contains a highly complex, self-sustaining chemical reaction of DNA and proteins. If you must destroy one, the choice is obvious. But under naturalism, a human being is nothing more than chemicals reacting to physical laws. Jean-Paul Sartre realized that without God, the possibility of finding objective values disappears. Humans would have no more intrinsic worth than a cluster of atoms. Yet the human conscience recognizes objective duties. We know murder is evil, and compassion is good, and these facts remain true regardless of our opinions. Romans 2 explains this by stating that the moral law is written directly on every human heart. The existence of a universal, objective moral law requires a transcendent moral lawgiver. The Christian worldview offers a different foundation, the radiant reality of humanity's intrinsic worth. The doctrine of the Imago Dei, found in Genesis 1, teaches that humanity is purposefully created in the image of God, possessing a dignity that exceeds our biological components. This is the only logical grounding for human rights, dignity, and justice. If the cosmological evidence is so overwhelming and the materialist alternative so self-contradictory, we must ask why the truth is so often rejected. Psalm 14 and Romans 1 offer the diagnostic. The denial of God is a moral rebellion. It is a decision to prioritize personal autonomy over the requirements of the Creator. The materialist worldview is a tragic attempt to avoid the moral lawgiver by suppressing the truth that the universe clearly reveals. We have traced the evidence from the precise calibration of nuclear forces and the origin of the cosmos to the moral law echoing in the human conscience. The mind that engineered the laws of physics is the same mind that designed you with a specific, intentional purpose. God is a personal, truth-loving creator who has reached out to humanity through his creation and his word. Type Amen if you believe. Subscribe to Christ's channel. Stepping into faith allows you to ground your reason, your conscience, and your inherent value in the reality that intentionally brought you into being.